everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. Today we're going to use this darkroom door set. It's called Carved Leaves and it's volume 1. I think it's been around for quite a while, and there's also volume 2, and there's also some corresponding open stamp set, which is Fine Leaves, maybe? Don't quote me on that. I made this card for my local craft shop, Little Bits. I'll give you the phone number where you can find all the details down below in the description box. So I'm going to play around with these leaves and placing them all out onto the card, and basically I'm going to use all of them. What I probably wouldn't have done if I going to do this again, I probably wouldn't use the really big one. I'm going to put some removable tape just so I can place it in the middle and know that it's going to stay down there. That's the big leaf down the bottom is probably the one that I probably wouldn't use again, or I'd use less of him. I'd move him over. So to me, he overtook a little bit. And we're just going to place all these downs. I can't talk. But see, I've used all of these stamps. So we're going to stamp this down. I actually made two in the end. I made one that was slightly darker, and this one. I've used Shabby Shutters, Distress ink, because I wanted something fairly light. I didn't want, and you can see it's blotchy, right? That's not going to matter, because what we're going to do is we're going to colour it in with some pencils. So I've actually used some Prismacolor pencils, but you can use anything, whatever you want. So we've used 941, 911, 1090, and we've also used a little bit of 912. And they're all shades of green in varying dark to light sort of variations. So all I'm going to do is use very sharp pencil, and I'm going to sharpen those quite regularly, sort of thing, just because I want a finer point, and I'm going to use a soft hand. If you end up with a sore hand by the end of colouring in, you're holding it wrong. You don't want to press very hard, because you're going to fill in the tooth of the cardstock really, really quickly. And so you just want a light hand and just layer it. Just keep layering. Put in your shadows and then layer up. And what I've done is, and it may not be strictly true to what other people do, but this is what I do. So I will come in and put the darker colour down, and I will work probably because I do a lot of Copic colouring, and I will put my darker colour down, and then my medium, and then I'll put a little bit of light, and I'll play around with that to a certain point, but I think most of the time that's what I tend to do. And I just keep working it until I'm happy. So I probably go back more than I obviously do with my Copics, but I just keep working it until I'm happy with it. And see how it fills it in. You're still going to see some of that texture. Now I'm going to speed it up for you, because for me, pencils take quite a while. Copics can take quite a while too, but I'm not a speedy pencil colorist, so for me it takes quite a while. And I'm actually going to do maybe, I think, 3 of the leaves, and then we're going to jump ahead to the next stage. You're still, as I was saying, you're still going to see the texture of the Distress ink underneath of it, but that's fine. You're colouring leaves. You're going to see they have texture in it. It's just going to add to the texture of the leaf. That's what I feel. That's my personal opinion, and you do you. But I'm just going to speed through, and we're going to colour this whole lot in the same colours, the same way, and then we're going to blend in some other bits and pieces. So we've decided to do some videos for the local craft shop, which I do work at, and there's going to be quite a few people hopefully coming to our channel and virtually in the end the ladies channel, and checking out what we're doing and what we're using, and hopefully giving people something to look at, like local people, people that know the craft shop. I mean, everyone can come and have a look at it, of course, but this is what we're starting at, sort of thing. How it's exactly going to work, I don't know, but we're going to try and see if we can do some videos for you and just go with the flow, basically. I'm just finishing up some of these leaves. I think I'll do one more leaf, that little leaf down the bottom, and then we'll jump ahead a little bit. Nothing's happening in my life. Same old. Stay at home. Stay at home. Craft. A little bit of remote. Oh, I'm going to do the big one. Okay, so I lied. I'm going to attack the big one. So I'm putting the veins down because I want them to stand out, sort of thing. And it's really hard to see, but I'm pressing really, really lightly. I'm letting the pencil do the work, and I'm just layering the colour down. That's pretty much it. In regards to the technique and everything like that, that's pretty much what we're going to do. So yeah, nothing's really happening. Okay, something is happening. We've just discovered, my husband bought a whole heap of, from Costco, some Oreo biscuits, and they're gone missing. Please tell me that I'm not the only person that has someone in the house that steals the biscuits, and let's be honest, it's probably a teenager. Please tell me I'm not the only one, because it's driving me nuts. I don't want to eat them either way, it doesn't really matter to me, but it's the principle of the matter. Life with a teenager, but never mind. There we go. So we jumped in. So what I've done here is I wanted to fill it in a little bit more because it's just a bit sparse. So I've drawn different leaves. And so I've penciled them into where I sort of want them and how I want them shaped and everything else. And then once I've got what I want, and I've done different types of leaves, and once I've sort of gone, yep, that's what I want, I've rubbed it out to a greater degree, so 98% of it you can't actually see. And then one by one, I've done this. And then I've coloured it in and I've drawn it in. And it sort of also provides that little bit of different variation. It's still the same colours. It's still the same, there's still leaves. We're not adding any other dimension to it. We're just filling in some gaps. And as I said, I've done some, I suppose you call them similar to maple leaf. Some of mine are very much maple leaf. Some of them look a bit demented, but you know, it doesn't matter. I'm just sitting here having a bit of a play, frankly. So yeah, as I said, pencils do take a while. For me, pencils take a while. I wouldn't mind trying it when you colour everything. You do it on the cardstock and then colour everything in white and then put over the top other colours and then use it to blend in with the white and varying. I don't know, you know, the whole thing of craft and doing what we like is to sit and play sometimes. So to me, I can see that there's a variation in the colour, but because you don't have that shabby shadows underneath it. But I like it, and that's my card. So it's my opinion. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We're just having fun, and we're trying to provide people. See, I don't know whether that's counted as a maple leaf, but it's a leaf, okay? It's a leaf. I'm pretty sure I don't know about what plants and trees and everything we have in that sort of thing, in that shape, but we're going to call it a maple leaf and we're going to run with it. So just work with me. What else can I tell you while I sit in colour? I'm going to cut it out soon. You'll see it will jump. I'm not going to make you sit here and wait and colour me. Sit here and watch me colour the whole lot. What I did do later on is I forgot to turn the camera on because I'm new at this and I forgot to turn the camera on. I wanted some splatter of just black. So what I've done is just got plain black paint, acrylic paint, not watercolor or anything like that. Although you could do it, but I wouldn't like really water it down or anything like that, which you probably could still do it. But I wanted something with a little bit of dimension. I've got another card that's going to be coming out which doesn't have that, and it has just ink that I've watered down. See, so I've got two colours and one slightly darker. I don't like it and I've splattered it. So it's just the black paint with, and that's, some of that's gotten really quite heavy. Splatter it with just watered down black paint. That's all I've done with the Tim Holtz splatter brush, I think it's called. So this is my favourite things die. It didn't really have a name on it. I got this from Leslie from Little Bits in Keysborough, and it tells you all, the back of it tells you which machine, how to use your plates and all that sort of stuff. But it's just, I'm going to use the biggest one because I like the font of it and it's a nice shape and it's all joined together and I don't have to piece anything together because I'm a lazy butt. So I've cut it out of the main panel. And you need to keep all your little insides of your A, your insides of your S and everything else because we're going to inlay this. I've also cut 3. This is express glue 2-in-1, so it has a little foam, little wedgie brush, and at the end of it in this cylinder you actually have a little pen. But be very, very careful. This is very easily knocked over, and the shop actually has some little holders where you can put it into the holder and it gives it a bigger base. But do you think I can find mine? Yeah, no. Cannot find it. So I've got 3, and what I'm going to do, instead of using foam tape and to give it a solid, I don't know, it's just like a solid, how can I explain it? Foam tape is great, don't get me wrong, but because I was raising this up and I wanted black underneath it to give it some definition, and I just probably didn't really want to play around with little bits of foam tape or anything, so, and then have it cut down to size and then have gaps and all this sort of stuff. I just wanted it to be one solid thing. So especially once you get going with the black, layering up the black, it gets really, really easy. And the thinner the word, it can be a little bit harder to line it up. But once you get going, it's super simple. There you go. Bit of dimension. If I'd done it again, I probably would have done like a 4th black one. And that's going to sit in like that. That's pretty much it. Pretty much it. So I'm going to trim this down in the end. I'm going to mat it up on a bit of black, and I'm going to trim this piece down to 9.7 by 14.1 centimeters, and the black is going to be 10 by 14.4. I like a very thin border around my card bases. That's me. You do me. You do me. You do you. I'll do me. And I'm using Tim Holtz guillotine to trim that all down because I really like the thickness. So that just makes it pop a little bit better, doesn't it? That looks heaps better. So a bit of glue. Hopefully the few videos I have done, you've learnt that I'm mostly a glue person. I think the video I didn't post it up the other day, I did a bit of tape because I'm trying to use up bits and pieces. So I had like Pritt glue, I had other tape runners, and gosh knows what. And I was just trying to use all that up. I'll put the lid on it before I knock it over because I know heaps of people have done that. It's easy to knock over, okay? Let me just warn you, it's easy to knock over. Just trust me with that. And don't try and put glue on, especially wet glue, when you are sitting on top of your card. That wouldn't be good. So I'm just making sure that I've got plenty of glue, and we're going to inlay that. So it's going to, I think it's called Eclipse, where it's sort of inlaid but it's raised up. And we're just going to tidy up some of that glue around the edges, make sure it's all sitting in properly. This is where you have to make sure you've kept all your little tiny pieces and make sure that you've got them going around the right way, of course, too. And we're going to push those down with a little pokey tool. No, I'm going to push it down with the tweezers. There you go. With the tweezers, and inlay that. And then I decided to add some sentiments. So the sentiment is going to be from Tailored Expressions. They have simple strips, they're called, where they are a one whole stamp with lots of little different sentiments. You can get a couple of different ones. You can get Christmas, you can get birthday, you can get friendship, you can get simple strips, which I think, if I'm not telling a lie, is the one that has an all over different bits and pieces. And then you have a die that fits over the top. And I'm not going to show you me cutting that out or embossing it because I've already done that. And this is just out of my stash. So I have a little box beside in some little shelving at the side of my desk, and I've just kept all the little strips in there. So they're really handy because it's one stamp, one pass of die cut, and gives you so many. You can see some of the bits and pieces all up in there. You can see it's a whole bag full. And you can do whatever you want to do. White, black writing, black stamping on white cardstock. I've done black on white with this. I've got black, white on black. It didn't emboss terribly well, so I'm just going back through with a pen and a little pokey tool to scrape off the little bits and pieces and just clean it up. Because I'm not going to do that again. I try very hard not to not to start again. And these are just foam strips, and I'm actually not going to use this because I decided in the end that I'm not going to use it at all. And they're just simple strips, and the shop has them easily. They come and go because they can get very, very popular. See, I don't like that. I like it, but it's not doing it for me. So we're going to rip the foam strip off and just go flat. And it's the cardstock's slightly warped sort of thing, but you're going to glue it down. It's not going to matter whatsoever. And that's going to be pretty much it. So feel free to pop over, ring up the shop or email the shop. I'll give you all the details. Like and subscribe to this channel, which will massively help me out because I've only been doing this for a little while. And that's pretty much my card. Thank you for stopping by. Like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy. Bye.